Hello and welcome to the history of the Katanga class. The Katanga class battlecruiser was the primary class of warship in service with the Klingon Imperial Fleet in the late 23rd century, and with the Klingon Defense Force in the mid to late 24th century. Introduced in the early 2270s, the Katanga class cruiser was considered one of the most powerful warships in the Klingon Defense Forces, even serving as a flagship for the Imperial Fleet for a time during the 2290s. Katanga-class cruisers were in service as early as the 2270s, when the Epsilon 9 station recorded the destruction of 3 Katanga-class vessels by the V'ger entity. Starfleet's interest in the Katanga-class cruiser was such that the class of ship appeared in the Kobayashi Maru training scenario at Starfleet Academy. For nearly a century, the Katanga-class cruisers proved to be a rugged, sturdy design that saw continuous use. In that aspect, they were much like their Federation counterparts, the Excelsior-class and the Miranda-class starships, whose usefulness outlived contemporaries such as the Constitution-class cruisers. Marked with improvements, these warships saw continuous use as frontline and border patrol ships throughout the Klingon Federation War and the Dominion War of the early 2370s. They were not always the ship of choice for all missions, however, as more agile craft like the Klingon Bird of Prey were better suited for some tasks. The Katanga-class cruiser was one of the most advanced and versatile warships in the Klingon Imperial Fleet. Although the tactical effectiveness of the Katanga relative to other ships were never firmly established in true canon, it was capable of challenging a Constitution-class cruiser without fear, threatening an Excelsior-class cruiser in a standoff situation, and in small numbers it could inflict severe damage on an Excelsior-class cruiser. The outboard plan of the Katanga class incorporated the same basic shape and classic design lineage dated back over 100 years to the D5 class battlecruiser. The Katanga cruiser was a direct offshoot in design lineage from the versatile D7 class battlecruiser introduced sometime prior to 2267. The weapon systems on board the Katanga-class cruisers have included phasers, disruptors, photon torpedo launchers, and concussive charges. The torpedo launchers included one torpedo tube in the front section and one in aft. The forward torpedo bay was located below the bridge in the foremost part of the ship, while the aft torpedo bay was located between the impulse engines. During the arming sequence, the interior perimeter of the torpedo tube area glowed bright red until one or more torpedoes were fired. This class of ship was also equipped with 2 forward-mounted phasers. These phaser and torpedo weaponry were considered state-of-the-art during the 2290s. They were no match for a Galaxy-class starship of the 2360s, but were, however, more than a match for any weakly defended colony or outpost at the time. By the late 24th century, Katanga-class cruisers had been retrofitted to keep up with the advances of technology. In the 2370s, their forward photon torpedo launchers included a powerful disruptor emitter, allowing these vessels to remain formidable adversaries. Thank you for watching the history of the Katanga class. Special thanks to Memory Alpha for all information you heard today. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye!